Hello everybody, today I'm going to be filming a video. This is going to be part 2 about me answering the questions. Except this is going to be a full video. So I have all the time in the world to talk about this. So I'm going to tell you what happened. So previously, a couple days ago, there's two birds fighting each other. What the fuck? Nature. Anyways, only we can do that as humans, just fight each other. Okay, where was I? Oh yeah, so I fired up Brownie because Brownie was having an issue where it would stall whenever I put it in gear, and I couldn't figure out why it was doing that. I literally tried, put her in gear, she'll stall out and die. It turns out it was several problems on top of each other. Problem number one was the gaskets and the carburetor spacer adapter. So it was that and the gaskets. So I changed that out yesterday or the day before. So, and then I fired it back up, ran a lot better. But I didn't put her in gear, I didn't try and drive her. So then I waited today to see if, because I figured it'd be fixed. Tried to take my bio mom home in the truck, and we got down to the end of the street there, and it died. Couldn't figure out why it was dying. So then I just waited a couple minutes. Key was not responding, so I waited, fired it back up, revved her up a little bit, took off. And once I took off, I made it to the DK gas station. Put about $20 in. That's about 7 gallons. So it's probably almost full. Probably about full of gas now. It probably has almost a full tank now, by now. So yeah, I've got to the gas station. And then while I was at the gas station, I turned her off. I popped the hood. Idled it up some more. I just turned the throttle idle screw, not the air mixer screw or the fuel mixture screw, the idle screw. Turned that up, made it a little higher. Put the gas in, put the 7 gallons, the $20 worth of gas, which is about 7 gallons. So put the gas in the truck. And then when I put the gas in the truck, I fired her back up, or we fired her back up, and she ran a lot better. I put her in gear. She didn't try and stall on me. She wasn't stalling on me. It's like, oh, good. Higher idle. Make sure your idle is decent. If your truck is kind of running and you try and fire it back up, if it's just stalling, idle it up. So, got her going again. Got about halfway up to the bridge. And then she just died going about 35. So I pulled her over. Waited a couple moments. Fired her back up. Continued straight. Got to about... got to about 35 again. Which takes a little while to get to 35. Now she died again. So I pulled over. After that, she wouldn't start. The key was not responding. The key was moving, and moving the rod, but it just would not respond. So I waited, turned it, let go, took the key out, put the key back in, turned it, just messing with it. Finally, my mom showed up in the red truck. So my mom took my bio mom to my bio mom's house. And I said, hey, I got her running again. Let me see if I can take her home. Take the truck home. So my mom took my bio mom to her house. And then I stayed behind to bring Brownie home. And luckily, I got Brownie home. So I fired her back up. And I made it home. I just didn't go 35. I was cruising. Let's just say I was cruising. Going about 5, 10, maybe 15. And I made it home. revved her up one last time, put her in the drive, because because we're kind of like on a hill, so I had to move her up and put her in her spot. Put her in park, and that was the end of that trip. I think I figured out what was wrong. It was the ignition switch that's above the steering column, under the dash. Some of y'all guys don't know what's wrong, don't know what that is. Not know what's wrong, don't know what that is. Your key controls a rod, and the rod controls the switch. And the switch goes back and forth, side by side, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And that controls your ignition. All the way back is off. All the way here is ignition, and all the way forward is start. So I replaced that ignition switch literally just a few seconds ago. I know Mary's trying to call me, so I gotta hurry this up. So I replaced the ignition switch. I haven't tried it again. I'm gonna wait until my dad gets home, and I'm gonna let him test drive it and see if it does it to him. If it does it to him, then there's something else wrong. But if it doesn't do it again, where it dies at going, where it doesn't die, going pretty fast. If it doesn't die on him while going 35 or 40, then I guess the problem's fixed. But if it does it again, there's something else wrong. So I'm gonna let my dad figure it out. Well, I'm gonna let him test drive it, but he's gonna tell me what's wrong and I'm gonna fix it. Or I can take the transmission out and put it back in Peachy, because Peachy never had that issue. Peachy was having a fuel delivery issue, which was easy to avoid. All I had to do was put a mechanical fuel pump on, because the electric fuel pump is not meant for sucking. It's meant for pressing. Electric fuel pump is meant for pushing, not sucking. So it was pushing so much fuel and it was flooding the carburetor. So that was an easy fix. I tried to put a mechanical fuel pump on, but couldn't get it to work. There's a mechanical fuel pump I found lying around the shop. Put it in water, it pumped. So I was, okay, let me throw it in. Threw it in, cranked it over a couple of times, we got nothing. Well, now I know why it wasn't doing nothing. It turns out, I found this out on Brownie because I did the same thing to Brownie. I hooked up the lines, the fuel lines, the same way that I did on Peachy and did it on Brownie. So when I was hooking up the fuel lines, I hooked them up the same way that I did to Brownie. So, because how I hooked up the okay, so basically the problem I gotta tell Mary. So basically what happened was that how I had the fuel lines hooked up, I did the same thing to Brownie. Turns out that was the problem. I had the fuel lines hooked up wrong. I had them backwards. I had it sucking through the carburetor, not out of the tank. So I guess I could try a mechanical fuel pump again on Peachy and see if I can get fuel out of the tank. But that's for a later day. I gotta call Mary, my bio mom. So yeah, I got her home. All right, well, I'll be right back. I'll film a part 2.